Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today what I wanted to highlight is the current discussion of nitrotype botting versus grinding. And this is a big discussion because as you can see on the leaderboards, we have a bunch of people who are doing a bunch of races either illegitimately or legitimately. And today what we're going to be doing is trying to crack the case as to whether or not people are botting or grinding. Let's get into today's video. By even taking a slightest look at the leaderboards, you can see that a bunch of people have been doing a bunch of races recently. An example of this could be Spooky Master, aka, I believe their name is, actually I forget what their name is, but this is an example of a bunch of grinders, and I'm not going to call out anybody for being a bot, but there are a lot of telltale signs that could signify that they are botting. So the first thing that you can show when you have a grinder versus a botter is their speed. And what we can see is that throughout the season, if we scroll all the way down, they've been averaging 145 words per minute, right? But the thing is, their top words per minute is 153. Now, I'm not saying that this is impossible, but even sandbagging to an 140 word per minute speed zone is almost impossible, especially when you're doing such a crazy level of grinding a day. Now, this brings us back to our conversation of, are you botting or are you grinding? And it's really just something that is hard to say because differentiating a botter and a grinder might be easier than differentiating a botter and an accounter, which could be a legitimate player. But I'm going to show you a perfect example of somebody that clearly does bot. So Spooky Perk is currently number 5 in the world right now, and they are averaging 204 words per minute with the 233 word per minute top speed. If you didn't know, only 2 people have surpassed the 233 word per minute top speed, and that is Raptor and Shaq. If we scroll down, you can see that in the past 24 hours, they have done 1,775 races with 203 words per minute. Now, doing 1,700 races alone is very hard, but doing it at the level of over 200 words per minute is nearly impossible. Even the best typists in the world sometimes struggle to go over 200 words per minute, which just kind of goes to show that going this fast is legitimately impossible. Now, some people might be like, oh, but he could still be legit, and I really do not see any way that this person can be legit. This is a perfect example of somebody that is not a grinder, but a straight out botter. And what's interesting about the botting technique is that we can see, let's go over these top leaderboards and their high speeds. Spooky Master has a high speed of 153, as we discussed before. And this wouldn't be suspicious, except that they average 144 for the season. Mr. Bananas has 151 high speed, but goes 94 words per minute. This could obviously just be bursted. Kaluga has an 138 speed, which is also not that suspicious, but let's look at these ones down here. 152, 233, 225, 196, 168, 139, 173, 165. So a few of these, or at least you can say at least like 3 of these, are clearly not legitimate and have to be set by either somebody else or they're major sandbagging. But let's go to the 24-hour leaderboards. As you can see, Spooky Perk with 203 words per minute has been done 1,775 races. Now, looking at the past 24 hours and having our calculator on the right, we're going to do some calculations. So generally, there's a 40-second interval between each races, so we're going to do 40. Obviously 40 if I move this out of the way. 40. And then we see times 1,775. And this will, in theory, give us our amount in seconds. So what we do now is we divide it by minutes, and then we divide 1183 by hours. So 19 hours a day is theoretically what this botter is going at 203 words per minute. That is 19 hours of straight racing, and in my opinion, that is literally impossible. Now, to truly end up with this botting kind of conversation, if we look on the past 24 hours, 1775, 1853, 1759, 1715, 1533, 1715, 1722, 1754, 1275, 1316, 1395, 1308, 14, 1000. All of these are absolutely crazy numbers in their own regard. And I believe besides Tadas, who, if I pull it up right now, this person right here who was falsely banned, or not falsely banned, but then unbanned. Other than that, everybody has done these races in the past 24 hours. However, Tadas has that ban glitch kinda. So now we're going to talk about what makes a grinder. And it's not really what makes a grinder, but what differentiates a grinder from a botter. And what we really should see, and taking a grinding perspective really means that we'll have to put ourselves in another kind of place. However, that being said, what the main thing that I want to talk about, and the main thing that would be the kind of best way to differentiate a botter from a grinder, is that with the grinder we can see a overall decrease in their typing speed and their typing ability as the season goes on, or as their session goes on, or as their competitive their competitiveness in the community kind of continues on. So I don't really have a perfect example of this, but we can see that for somebody like Wildflower. Now, I don't want to call it Wildflower for major sandbagging, but what kind of shows that she is not only a legitimate person, but also not a grinder, if that makes sense, is the fact that we can see that this is a major sandbagging thing, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, you see 51 words per minute. After doing almost 600,000 races and using almost 900,000 nitros, you can kind of get to the you can kind of get to the realization that she could probably go over 50 words per minute if she wanted to. But this is an example of heavy sandbagging. With botters, what we really see is that there is not any sandbagging whatsoever, because obviously the goal is to get as much point efficiency as possible. Obviously, with Wildflower, point efficiency is not that much of a necessity, and it's more so just for working at, the king of the race cars and how to improve that. That being said, that's kind of what that would cover in general. So obviously, if you see here, I would like to say that WAMS, or PR2W, has done a pretty good job of keeping out botters in general. Obviously, no team is perfect, but I do think that they have done pretty well. For other teams, I'm not going to call it any other teams, but the fact that some other teams can be kind of allowing botters onto their team is not a great thing for the community just in general. And it's not just one team that is guilty of this. Plenty of teams are I want to say plenty of other teams are victims of these teams who are allowing botters. But just in general, it's really just something that is not a great, or doesn't show great kind of, or what I should say is that it doesn't show great sportsmanship, and that's just something that is really not great for the community as a whole. If we look at 27, if we look at the fact that this team only has 27 members and they're averaging 165 words per minute, I promised I would not call anybody out, but in general, Spooky Perk, I'm sorry, but it looks like you're kind of carrying your team, just have to say. So yeah, and even in some cases, the teams aren't even at fault in a way, because they do not even know that they have botters on their team. For an example, I would like to talk about an example with Viv, with somebody who was accused of using a botting program, and they seemed clean until the end, in which they were proven not clean, and it wasn't even Village's fault, and it wasn't even the person who's botting's fault. It was a misunderstanding, and it's just those kind of things that hurt the game in general. And so to end this video off, I basically wanted to cover what should we do about it. Honestly, I don't think it relies on the community, because just in general, the community, there will always be people who will bot, and the community cannot help that. I urge both team captains to keep botters away from their team. I urge mostly the NT admins and Nitrotype admins to ban these botters, because it's just not okay that they are botting on the leaderboards. It's really just something that could definitely be improved with the competitive state of Nitrotype at general. And I think that if we do see this, and if we do see this improvement, then it will just truly be amazing in general, because obviously we want to see this game be better, and we want to see this game improve. And I think that that is the first way to do that. Thank you everyone so much for watching today. I know it was kind of a crazy video, but I hope everyone had a good time watching it. I had a lot of fun making it. It's very interesting to see just kind of competitive Nitrotype as a whole, and what Nitrotype should do about it, because there really is no right answer. I mean, obviously we wouldn't want to have botters on the team, but Nitrotype needs to find a balance to where they can also update their game and take care of the botters. For grinders though, I don't think that it is so much of a problem, because if you have a competitive game, there will probably be people that take it pretty competitively. Obviously, I never encourage people to grind in this game to an extent where it's a sacrifice to their health or their other personal life. However, it is a fun game, and if you want to play it for maybe 500 races one day, who am I to stop you? It's just when you kind of get into that rhythm of doing more so than 1,000 races a day, not botting, that it kind of gets crazy, and you might want to take a little bit of a break. That being said, thank you so much everyone for watching, and have an amazing day.